This is an introduction to my project, which is a robot called Mavis for automatic gardening. And in order to explain the project and make it feel more concrete to myself, and also to be able to explain it to you guys, I spent my last week to create this little leaflet about the project. So, opening up the first page, this is where I explain the basic idea, how the robot will work. And it moves along a rail. It has a cogwheel and it has a rack rail. And the idea why I want to use this rail is because I imagine that the robot can be used not only on a specified plant bed, but I would like to be able to put this robot in an existing garden for a small scale vegetable grower. And in this way I think it's more flexible to use a rail. And if you can imagine kind of like a model train, how you build the rail going around the plants. It might seem like a crazy idea to build this kind of robot, but on my next page, that's where I explain that this is actually part of an ecosystem that already exists. And I would really like to highlight a project called FarmBot. It's a super cool project, and it's an open source project, which means that I can take and reuse the parts that FarmBot has invented. And in the same way, maybe the parts that I create can be useful for FarmBot. A FarmBot has something that they call the universal tool mount. And there are different tools that can do different things with the plant. They can do watering and weeding, sensing the soil conditions. They also have a software which is kind of gamified, where you can plan out your garden. And since they are part of FarmBot, they are also open source, and I can take them and reuse them in this project. On the next page, I explain how I intend to build this, or the material that I would like to use. And I really would want this to be something that can be built with cheap and available materials. And I'm here right now in Ubud in Bali. Maybe if you're from a Western country, maybe you have an image of what it's like to go to a hardware store, and you can find all sorts of aluminium profiles and all sorts of different things. In many parts of the world, like including Bali, the experience is not really the same. But there are a few things that you can always find, and PVC pipes, for example, since it's often used in plumbing, I found them wherever I've been. So my idea is to use the 3D printer here to print different types of joints, and then use PVC pipes for the construction. And the next page talks a little bit about my own personal motivation for doing this project. What I want to explain here is that technology is just a tool. Kind of like spirituality, which is also just a tool. It can be used to free and empower ourselves if we learn how to use it. But if we don't, we can be sure that there will be someone else who for their personal gain would want to control us, and they will use the technology in order to do that. So I really believe then in open source software and hardware. And if we can create technology, robots or other things that can be used by us all, so they are owned by us all and we can all build them, this can be a great force for individual freedom and democratization and decentralization. And that is really my motivation for doing this. Now, I'm not as naive to believe that this project will solve all the problems in the world and free humanity from corporate slavery. But I do this because it feels good to use the skills that I have gained throughout my career to do something that feels right. And on the last page, I show a few of the 3D printable designs that I have created so far. There are about 20 parts that can be 3D printed, and I've designed them to be generic So in that sense, I hope that it can be used for creating other designs than this one that I've envisioned. And I also hope that if I print a few of these parts and get my robot to work, it can also be something that can be used for education. On my last page I have a few links. For example, I have the link to GitHub, where I have all my designs shared as open source, and the Facebook page for Ubud Makerspace, which is what you see behind me here, which is my little laboratory in Ubud where I will build this project. During the course of this project, I hope I'll be able to update you guys as often as I can. And if you would like to support it, please subscribe and share this video. Thank you.